Hi everyone. So I'm here today with Kristen from Puma Golf, who is the head of merchandising, and she's based over in California in the US, the lucky thing. And she's here today to tell us all a bit more about the Puma women's ranges that are coming out this year, including the clothes and the shoes, all for golf, of course. So Kristen, I've seen some of the patterns that are coming up for spring summer, and some of them are really like cool and funky and a sort of floral sort of animal print. Could you just talk us through them and say like what inspired these designs?
Yeah, sure. So, we tend to look outside of golf for our inspiration. Puma's a global sports brand, not just entirely focused on golf. So we want to look, all over for our inspiration. And you nailed it. Florals continue to be a really important trend this year. Animal prints are a really important trend. So, we want to focus on the things that are really resonating with her, both on and off the course.
Perfect. And so the team who put these together, are they all women or is it a mix of men and women?
Oh, it's been so great. Most recently, over the last year or so, we've added three more women onto the design team. It used to actually be quite a few men who were putting their spin on the women's collection. And we have a brand new designer who came from Ralph Lauren's Swim. Her name's Marianne Patrick, and she's just done a fantastic job with the women's collection. You can really see all of the feminine details that she's adding in, whether it's new trims or new shaping details. And then we also have a new graphic designer who's putting her spin on the print. So it's been really lovely to work with this talented group of women. The design details are so very important. I think that unfortunately a polo silhouette can almost inherently be a little masculine if not treated with some care. So we focus a lot on bust darts for shaping in the garment and lots of alternative collar constructions just to make sure everything has a really feminine touch.
And yeah, absolutely, I agree. And speaking of feminine, I've noticed you've got some cool dresses in the cloud spun range. Have they been going down well?
Yes, Cloud Spun is, I think, the best thing that we've worked on in the 10 years that I've been with Puma Golf. The fabric is so soft and cozy, and it drapes beautifully, and it takes color and print so well. And the dresses are just, you just want to live in them. It's my favorite piece for sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask as well, what's your favorite pieces? So is it
Yeah.
the dresses? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I love the dresses, a lot because they're just so versatile. But I also really love our layering pieces again because they're great for on course when the weather's a little chilly or windy. But they can transition to yoga or to the grocery store. We want to make sure that we're really speaking to her entire lifestyle. And I think that between the silhouettes and the stretch fabrications, and we just want to make sure that she's really comfortable and everything's playable but stylish.
No, I agree. That's super important to me. I want to be able to wear like a golf jumper for something else, like
Yeah.
to go to the gym or whatever. So was there anything that didn't make it through what you really liked from the initial designs?
Ooh, that's a good question. There was a pair of shorts that were a little bit on the shorter side. We've had quite a bit of success with our 8-inch Bermuda shorts. We also had a more of a kind of a push silhouette that was more of a 4-inch inseam that I thought was so cute, but ultimately, it's just not going to be quite as commercial as some of the more traditional pieces. So we held on that one for this season. Maybe she'll make a return in a year or two when the market's a little more progressive. We'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So on that note, do some of the dress codes in golf and like you say, the traditions, do they hold you back slightly in terms of your designs? Just things like that, like
Yeah, I think COVID has been really interesting for us. You look at the macro trends of what's happening in life and in fashion overall, and everything just seems to be getting more casual and versatile and comfortable. And I do think that dress codes holistically are easing a bit. And I do think that will find its way onto the golf course as well. Here in the US, we've had record rounds. We've also had the benefit of some nicer weather, especially here in Southern
yeah.
California. But as there were so many restrictions through COVID, golf was one of the things that was allowed here in the States. So we've seen so many new players come into the game, so many families, and now like the moms are joining along and kids are playing. So I think for the girl who, is maybe just pulling athletic things out of her closet, maybe that's going to make an impact on some of the rules and let things become a little more casual, which is a nice fit for our brand.
Have you already started to go that way a bit? Because some of the brands are even doing like collarless shirts, and obviously we had the whole hoodie scandal this year.
um, we'll typically put 1 to 2 in the collection, but out of 20. So
Yeah.
it's something that we test, and we want to give her an option, but also being really respectful of tradition and the game. We want to push the boundaries just enough, but not too far.
Yeah. And when you say her and you're thinking of who you're designing for, is that a particular age or a particular body shape, or do you create things for everyone to be able to wear?
I think it's more of a youthful mindset than a particular age specifically. I'm in my 40s. I'd like to think that I can still be a Puma golf girl, and it's not just for the 18 to 20-year-old that maybe the broader sport side of the brand targets. And I do think that we also try to be really inclusive in our sizing. We go all the way up to a 2XL in women's, and a lot of the skirts and pants, we use a special construction that we call power shape in our bottoms. So the idea here was that we wanted to take the comfort of a yoga pant and put it into a polished golf bottom. But the fabric is very stretchy, but also gives you a little more structure and not quite compression. It's not uncomfortable. It almost gives you more of a shaping effect through the midsection. So it just kind of smooths everything out. And if anything, I think that maybe the girl who's maybe a little less fit is almost more appreciative of that feature and benefit. So we try to think about a lot of people when we're designing the line.
Yeah. So do you do a lot of customer research with women, and is any of that done in the UK, or is it mainly America?
So
Do you know?
yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. So we do, well, there's a couple ways that we get feedback. We work a lot with our athletes and ambassadors. So we'll do, maybe 2 times this season, we'll check in with Lexi Thompson, Blair O'Neill, Taryn Gregson, who are some of the ambassadors that are based here in the US. So to get some feedback from the professional side. We also have a lot of really avid women golfers in our own office. So we like to, maybe, well, not during COVID, but do a pizza party downstairs in the cafeteria and get everyone's feedback. And we seed a lot of samples at the beginning of the season to get people's feedback. And then we also work really closely with our buyers to get feedback, directly from their customer base. And then I know that the team in the UK, has a similar practice in their offices. They select their regional range.
And how about like other women at clubs? Do you do any kind of outreaches to find out what they think, or is it more like you say the women you work with are also golfers?
We tend to get the feedback. It'll be almost a little more indirect. So we'll ask our local sales reps in the area who have the territory to maybe do a women's trunk show and host a lunch, and then do a little bit of a feedback session there, and then they'll feed it back into the office.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. And then moving on to like the shoes, I've noticed you've got some very cool like sort of slip-on ones with like no laces or anything. Are they like, they look to me like the things that you could wear for golf, but equally wear not for golf? Was that one of the thinking behind the shoe range?
Exactly. So we do a lot of business in our transitional collection, which we call fusion. So kind of the fusion of sport and lifestyle. So the uppers are always meant to look like just a regular trainer or street shoe that can transition very easily from the course to off the course. But if you turn the shoe over, you'll see, a really nice hex traction story. So it's spikeless, but it's still going to give her some really great grip and always focused on comfort as well. And then for the more serious player, we also have our Ignite Blaze Pro, which is a spiked shoe that uses the Power Adapt traction pod. So if it's wet or it's kind of trickier lies, or for the girl who really swings hard, that's a great shoe for her as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kristen. It was lovely to chat. And
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
yeah, no problem at all. Can't wait to see these in store and on the course.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.